June 6, 1944. 175,000 Allied soldiers breached the walls of Fortress Europe through intense German resistance. By late June, Cherbourg had fallen, giving the Allies the port they so desperately needed. By early August, Eisenhower had amassed an Allied army of over 1 million strong. Treacherous field-to-field hedgerow fighting unleashed a breakout across France. With the Germans in full retreat, the Allies marched into Paris. Field Marshal Montgomery moved north into Belgium, while General Patton and the Third Army pushed to the Siegfried Line. It was here that the Allies encountered their newest enemy, the lack of sufficient supplies. Patton's plan was to run straight through the teeth of the Siegfried Line directly to Berlin. Monty had devised a daring airborne operation that had the potential of ending the war by Christmas. Having only enough supplies to support one advance, the fate of thousands rested in the hands of the few. With Allied superiority on land, sea, and air, what could go wrong? By 1940, Hitler's promise of no bombs dropped on German cities was rendered hollow by Allied heavy bombers. This drove home the reality that the Luftwaffe lagged behind the Allies in a number of areas. Field Marshal Goering needed an aircraft capable of shooting down Allied bombers before they had the chance to drop their payload on Germany, and this demand prompted the production of a revolutionary jet fighter different from any other aircraft Germany had produced before. This endeavor was named the 3x1000 project. It called for a heavy fighter capable of flying 1,000 kilometers distance at 1,000 kilometers an hour and with a 1,000 kilogram payload. To achieve this, the Germans turned to a team of brothers with an astonishing new design.
Sie haben hier einen ganz schönen Betrieb. Von unseren Gotha-Sicherheitsbestimmungen könnten Sie allerdings noch was lernen.
Allied infantry always welcomed the sight of a Sherman tank. Its combination of speed, firepower, and quick repair made it an invaluable ground weapon. The sheer number of Shermans in the field usually allowed Allied generals to count on armored superiority. However, not all the Sherman tank specs were ideal. It was thinly armored and caught fire easily. In addition, its cannon was not large enough to pierce the more heavily armored enemy tanks, a weakness not shared by the German Tiger. Fortunately, evolving teamwork between ground spotters, artillery, and the Army Air Force meant no Tiger was impenetrable, thus helping the Shermans rule the day.
Du bist nicht in der Kriegsmarine!
I don't think I can stay in here because I...
Captain! I'm hit! Jimmy, help!
Kannst du dein Bier nicht gerade halten, du blöder Drecksack?
Ach Mann, halt die Fresse!
Mir reicht's, du blöder Saubeier!
Dir reicht was? Eine Frechheit, mich zu beleidigen, du besoffenes Schwein!
Dazu hast du nicht den Schneid!
Devised as a joint airborne and ground campaign, Operation Market Garden was the largest airborne operation ever mounted. The planned market was to take and hold a series of roads and bridges across northern Holland, creating a clear path for Garden, an armored push to the border directly east of Berlin. Unfortunately, the German forces engaged there were not the exhausted troops the Allies faced in France. Crack panzer divisions lay in wait, trained to repel the assault. The Allied invasion was halted outside Nijmegen, effectively cutting off more than 10,000 paratroopers dropped in Arnhem. Surrounded, the Allies battled on for 7 days, refusing to yield the north side of Arnhem Bridge to a superior force. Finally, when it was decided Market Garden could not succeed, the Allies fell back. 8,000 would be left behind. The Dutch would not see liberation for another 7 months.
Incredible! That building is blessed, no doubt.
Amerika ist gut! Apple Pie!
Again. Moet u toch eens kijken wat u met mijn deur gedaan heeft.
Supplies and production were vital areas of the war in which the Allies dominated. Relentless Allied bombing runs over Ruhr Valley factories resulted in an increasingly crippled German war machine. The methodical strafing of the railroads and rail yards left behind broken trains stalled on destroyed tracks. Without fuel, Germany's heavy weapons were useless. Its vaunted panzers immobilized and its planes grounded, the German infantry was left to carry on the fight alone.
You can't hide forever. There is no use hiding, American. There's no way out, Patterson.
Go.
Warte mal, ich kriege keine Luft.
Well done, Jimmy. I couldn't have expected half the results you achieved. So, take some much-needed R&R, but rest assured we'll be calling on you soon. With Germany's battle for Russia going poorly on the Eastern Front and our success on the Western Front, Germany is getting less sure and more dangerous by the day. Hitler is turning to projects that we hope never see the light of day. You'll be part of our continuing efforts, Patterson, so rest for now. We'll be in touch.
Da oben auf dem Berge, da sitzt ein Soldat, der wäscht sich mit Kartoffelsalat.
you gotta go. When you're ordered to maneuver, when you're ordered to hook, when you're ordered to envelop, you gotta get your in there. It's cold steel time. Clear?
Yes, sir!
Ron,
But
you shot her head, you dead or no?
finger.
Jessica, it looks like a flesh wound to me.
I think I lost a finger.
But it was pretty obvious I was killed.
You're pretty far away though.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet if it's close range, it would be.
Yeah.
It might be hurting.
1, sir. 2, sir. 3, sir. 4, sir. 5, 6, 7, sir. 8, sir. 9, sir. 10, sir.
When I told you to open up, you did finally, and that cued the move. Now here they came hard hooking around to the left. A couple of people got hit and quit. Hit the arm, hit the leg. Keep crawling, go for it.
December 7th, 1941, 10 in the morning. The United States suffers one of history's most devastating surprise attacks. With 2,403 dead and her once invincible Navy decimated, America is forced to join the conflict already raging in Europe and Asia. Prior to Pearl Harbor, the Japanese war machine had swept across China, cutting off American aid, and then pressed on into Burma with limited resistance. At home, Japan was building up a seemingly superior naval fleet, led by some of the world's largest aircraft carriers. But Admiral Yamamoto's prediction had come true. The aftermath of the Day of Infamy had indeed awakened the sleeping giant that was America. As the Emperor's armies march toward the Philippines, the United States takes action. With American armed forces now fully engaged in war, Japanese-occupied South Pacific islands are feeling the pressure. But hopes are crushed for a swift Allied victory in the Philippines. After a long, bloody battle, General MacArthur is ordered to retreat. Thousands of troops are left behind and forced to surrender. The enemy now controls the Philippines. MacArthur vows to return. In a bold offensive move, the United States prepares to land 10,000 troops on Guadalcanal, a relatively unknown island, where a strategic airfield is under construction by Japanese forces. When John Adams formed the Marines in 1775, an entirely new method of warfare was born. Unlike armies that marched cross-country to battle, the Marines were amphibious, launching their attacks with shore landings. In the decade before World War II, the Marines began to truly develop their style of combat. This preparation paid huge dividends in the early days following America's entry into the war. Guadalcanal was taken and secured with almost no loss. However, swift Japanese counterattacks led to a tough and costly campaign to hold the island. Despite the brutal climate and high number of enemy troops, the Marines, aided by U.S. soldiers and local inhabitants, were finally victorious. Later in the war, the Marines and their unique battle tactics would prove invaluable. Seven months after joining the war, America's need for intelligence gathering and distribution was growing critical. Traditionally, these tasks had belonged to the Department of State. President Roosevelt sought advice from a trusted friend, William J. Donovan, a Medal of Honor recipient and veteran of the Great War. Donovan proposed a new, autonomous, and covert organization to carry out intelligence missions behind enemy lines. The Office of Strategic Services was created in June 1942 under Donovan's control. This elite force would swiftly become a critical weapon against the Axis. With units sent to every front, agents of the OSS were instrumental in many Allied victories. Along with successfully occupying much of the Pacific, the Japanese Golden Lily team began a systematic pillaging of Asian wealth. The team looted thousands of metric tons of gold and valuables from Chinese cities. The largest load was collected by General Yamashita after his conquest of Singapore, the repository of many hidden British and French assets. The one obstacle the Japanese faced was getting their hoard back to the homeland. At first, the enemy relied on naval transport. However, after Allied forces picked up on this tactic and began hitting the Emperor's navy hard, the Japanese began securing their treasure in underground mines. Burma was an important Southeast Asian land supply route for the Americans as well as the Japanese. Control of Burma meant control over a key artery for supplies traveling in both directions. Enemy forces used this route to send looted wealth south to its aircraft carriers. The United States depended on Burmese roads to lend support to the Chinese in their fight against Japanese occupation. The most successful form of transport in Burma was the railway system. The air routes were inefficient, and the sea belonged to the Allies. With the forced labor of slaves and prisoners, the Japanese laid track at breakneck speed, at a tragic cost of many lives. As the battles were fought in thick jungle, control of Burma changed hands several times. But finally, the Allies seized control. Despite heavy losses in battleships during the attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States fleet was able to maintain their naval strength. This feat was accomplished by the strategic use of aircraft carriers. as the United States quickly determined that air power was the future of naval superiority. The Japanese realized this as well, and began amassing one of the largest fleet of carriers the world had ever seen. The two seagoing forces met at Midway in early June of 1942. After 3 days of intense fighting, the Japanese had lost many of their large carriers and were forced to retreat. The victory at Midway marked a turning point in naval warfare. No longer were the number of battleships the most important factor. The nation with the greatest carrier fleet was king. In 1944, 2 years after General MacArthur had been ordered to leave 70,000 of his troops stranded, the United States would return to the Philippines. The road back to save MacArthur's men was not easy. Admiral Nimitz's overall attack plan involved a direct route to Japan, which bypassed the Philippines altogether. MacArthur appealed to the Joint Chiefs and eventually gained their support. In October 1944, MacArthur landed on the island of Leyte, declaring, "People of the Philippines, I have returned." MacArthur proceeded to regain control of the Philippines. However, less than a third of the troops he had left behind were rescued.
Dear Joe, you'll never know how happy and relieved we were to hear from you. Mom and I were clearing the lunch dishes when news of the Pearl Harbor attack came on the radio. Mom went all white and dropped a big platter on the floor. Dad finally calmed her down, but I don't think she slept at all, waiting for word that you were all right. There were more photographs in the paper this morning. It must have been horrible to be there, Joe. Thank heaven Donnie wasn't stationed in Hawaii, too. I don't think Mom would have survived the worry. Like everyone else, we listened to the president's speech the next day. Dad was real quiet afterwards. I think he always believed there'd never be another great war like the one he'd lived through. That evening, I saw an amazing sight. I passed by the Army recruitment office, and there were hundreds of men lined up outside. A few boys from my school were there, and 8 men on Dad's shift clocked out and signed right up, the coal dust still on their faces. We hear now that war's been declared, and once you've shipped out, you won't be able to tell us where you are. Write back when you can, and stay safe. Love from your sister, Mary. P.S. Mom wants to keep all the Christmas decorations up until you and Donnie get home, so get this war over with fast. Dear Joe, I have no idea if you've been told yet, but I have terrible news. Yesterday we got a telegram, the kind everyone dreads. Mom refused to open it until Dad rushed home from work. It was about Donnie. He's missing in action in the Philippines. We've tried to get more information from the War Department, but all we know is Donnie and some of the other men in his unit are unaccounted for. Mom's taking this very hard. She's holding on to the hope that Donnie's just been separated from the other Marines, that he made it out of the battle but hasn't been able to report back yet. Maybe it's just some awful mistake. Dad says that can happen sometimes, right? For now, all we can do is pray for another telegram with better news. Somehow, I know it will come. I decided I had to do something to take my mind off things, to help the war effort. With all the men gone overseas, a lot of the girls are working in the factories now. I applied for a job down at the Atlas Steel plant, and I start on Monday. Where are you, Joe? Your last letter had so many holes cut out by the censors that it looked like a sieve. But please, write again. It means so much to us to hear from you, especially now. Love, Mary. Dear Joe, last week, out of the blue, we got a phone call from a Marine corporal in Buffalo who'd been wounded and sent home. His name is Ray Parrish, and he's been trying to track us down for weeks. Corporal Parrish was with Donnie's unit when the Japanese invaded the Philippines. He heard that Donnie and several other Marines were captured and sent to a prison camp. Dad finally talked to a man at the War Department today. The government can't verify Ray's story. They can only continue to list Donnie as missing. But, Joe, what if it's true? At least he's alive. That's what we must believe now. Ray is visiting family in Erie soon, and he's promised to drive down to Pittsburgh. He has snapshots of Donnie from when they were stationed together on Wake Island. I can't wait to meet him. I'll mail you a package tomorrow with socks, razor blades, and magazines. I hope it reaches you soon. With love, Mary. Hi, Joe. You're probably wondering about the stationery. Even though I did swell on the assembly line, the foreman offered me a job as secretary to the accounts office. It's more money, so I can't complain. But you should see your little sister's spot-weld steel plate. I have to tell you a funny story. Last night we went to the Grand Theater to see a movie. Wished you'd been with us. Before the feature, there was a newsreel showing some Marines on Guadalcanal. Suddenly, Dad jumps from his seat and yells, "That's my son! That's Joe!" He ran back to the projection booth and made them show it again. It was quick, but one of those boys sure looked like Joe Griffin. I even saved you a souvenir. Well, coffee break is over, but I'll send a longer letter soon. Oh, we got your postcard. Even though it took weeks to cross the Pacific, it really brightened the day. Love, Mary. Dear Joe, last month we had a big storm and the elm in the backyard came down. Sorry to say, your old treehouse was smashed. Donnie's gonna be awfully upset when he gets home. Mom found his magazines in the wreckage and put them in the trash. So that's where he was hiding them. After the stump was cleared, Mom planted a victory garden. Between tending her crops and volunteering at the Red Cross, she's keeping busy. I'm sure you've heard about all the shortages here. I had to save up a month's worth of sugar ration stamps to make Dad's birthday cake, and the tires on the car are bald as a cue ball. But we don't mind these little sacrifices because we know it helps all of you fighting for us overseas. We think of you and Donnie constantly and pray for your safe return. Write back when you can, big brother. Much love, Mary. Dear Joe, Saturday afternoon there was a big war bond rally downtown with a parade, a band, and a radio broadcast. I went with Ray Parrish, Donnie's friend from the service. You would like him, Joe. We've been seeing each other for a few months now. Anyway, who's there selling bonds but your favorite pinup, Madeline May? She was signing photos and there was a big mob around her. But Ray shouldered his way through and got right up to the stage. He told Miss May about the Marines swooning for her, and she laughed and gave him a picture for you. So, keep it in a safe place where none of your buddies can get their paws on it. Love from someone who is not a movie star, Mary. Dear Joe, Dad surprised us with a trip to Atlantic City on the 4th of July. There were so many servicemen on the train that most of us civilians had to stand for the entire ride, but I didn't care a bit. We had a wonderful time on the boardwalk and even saw the famous diving horse. We were passing a shooting gallery and Dad dared Mom to try it. She knocked him down like Annie Oakley and won a Cupid doll. He should have seen Dad's face. Maybe you Marines could use another sharpshooter. Wish you were here. Mary. Dear Joe, yesterday Ray Parrish came by to visit. He brought one of those little records that you make in the booth to mail home. One night at the base on Wake Island, after a couple of beers, Ray and Donnie had made a recording as a joke. Ray had forgotten about it and just found it among his things. He played it for us. They sang Home on the Range, and Donnie was off-key as usual. Then there was a message at the end where Donnie says how much he misses all of us. As you can imagine, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Joe, I know you don't believe in such things, but hearing Donnie's voice was like a sign to me. It just made me believe even more that he's out there somewhere and that he's all right. Love from all of us, Mary.
My name is Don Jensen. I was on the USS Pennsylvania at the time of Pearl Harbor. On that Sunday morning, it was a nice 80-degree weather and all this, beautiful weather. I had gone out to the deck, took the Sunday paper, and I sat there, and in a minute a plane went by. It didn't even ring a bell. When the second one went by, I saw the red meatball on the side of the airplane and realized that it wasn't a drill. This was something greater than that. And then when the third one came by, we knew that there was a problem. And it was just a mass confusion from that time on. We got strafed by the planes that were coming in. Everybody was rushing around in the area trying to find something to do. A sailor come up to me, and we had a 50 caliber machine gun, and he helped me set it up, had me some ammunition, and so I fired at the airplanes as they were coming in. You had a pretty good shot at them, but you never knew whether you hit them or not, but they were so low that it's possible that we hit them. That first 53 minutes that the fighter planes were there and the torpedo planes were there, it was just a mass of not having any idea where they were coming from or anything else. But they were so low that most of them, you could see the gunner, the pilot from the torpedo planes and the fighters. You could see the pilots. They were that low. You were in such cramped quarters that you had to be careful where you fired the gun, because if you swung it too far around, you would hit one of our own ships or a building. You could see the explosions. Nothing ever got quiet because the bombs would explode and the ammunition from the ships would explode. Ships were rolling over. You could see the water that was on fire from the oil that was on the water. You could see the pickup boats that were bringing people out of the water that were actually burning and hauling them over towards the hospital. I think about those sailors and Marines that were in the hosping water and the explosions of the Arizona. And I think the worst thing that I can think about was 2 days afterwards when I was with Admiral Kimmel on an inspection tour. We went over to Arizona, and you could hear the rapping on the wall from people inside the hull of the ship, and we couldn't do a thing about it. Many of them are still in that ship on the bottom.
Approximately a month before the war, I was sent over to Bataan along with about 20 other soldiers to train Philippine constabulary soldiers. These were actually draftees that were pulled off the street because there was such a shortage of soldiers on the front line. Unfortunately, most of the ammunition that we had was all World War I. And we had a tremendous amount of problem with this ammunition because at least 1 out of 4 bullets is a dud, and at least 1 out of every 3 hand grenades was a dud. So for every hand grenade you threw, you had to throw at least 3 more to make sure that you had an effect on the enemy. And this was pretty dangerous because you don't have much time to duck when you throw a hand grenade. I was on Bataan for approximately 3 weeks when General King ordered the surrender of Bataan. I, along with my battalion that I was attached to, was surrounded by the Japanese soldiers. They took all our arms, naturally, and then pushed us back out on the road near Marvelis. I was on the death march for 2 days and 3 nights. And during that period of time, I saw hundreds of Filipinos and Americans shot, bayoneted, their heads cut off with swords by the officers for the slightest infraction. I knew I couldn't take this I wasn't going to last long myself. So during a rainstorm, there was a lot of lightning and thunder and a lot of noise. I dove off the side of the road and into the jungle and worked my way into the deeply as I could into the jungle and get away from the column. Took me approximately 4 days to work my way back to Maravelis. And I gathered up some wood and debris that was there, tied it together with anything I could find, and worked myself out into the bay and swam back to Corregidor. I would say that it took me a good 10 hours that I was in the water, not knowing at the time, but found out later that it was shark infested. But evidently I wasn't good enough to eat, and they weren't interested in me, thank goodness.
Washing Machine Charlie was our mysterious visitor who used to come around at night, and you could hear him, and he had a very distinctive sound, and it sounded like a washing machine. And they would come around at night, and they would go around and around and around, you know, endlessly, and then they would finally drop a bomb. It was like eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and then drop the bomb over here.
Well, one of them could have got me. 2 days after we left the beachhead area in Guadalcanal, where we first landed, we went to the front lines. One of these Japanese bombers dropped a bomb that hit right in where our company area had been and did a lot of damage. So fortunately, we were not there.
Once in a while, they dropped the bomb and hurt or even killed somebody. But we would laugh because they would usually miss everything.
The idea was to harass us and to keep us awake and to keep us nervous, and it was more of a nuisance sort of thing. Our searchlights would try to pick them up. Sometimes they did, and we would shoot our anti-aircraft shells at them. Once in a while we'd hit one, but they would drop their bombs and then they'd leave.
We would watch it. It became our nightly television show. If he hadn't come around that night, it was like, gee, we didn't get to see our favorite show tonight. It was the only entertainment we had. And we would actually had like a cheering section. Guys would yell and cheer, like, go for it, Charlie, and hey, there he is, get him, get him. And one night, Washing Machine Charlie came, and the poor guy was going around and around and around, and all of a sudden we saw this big ball of fire. I mean, it just went whoom, and we knew he'd gotten hit, and he just exploded up there. Well, what we didn't know was that they had brought in some Black Widow night fighters, and they'd just been waiting for this guy to come around. Well, once or twice with the Black Widow night fighters, and poor old Washing Machine Charlie never came back. We kind of missed him too.
I suppose the most memorable was when I marched down, and we thought that some planes that came over were our bombers, but they weren't. They were Jap bombers. And so we had to run like anything. And as we ran, down came some parachutes with food and a copy of the Tokyo Times talking about a great win the Japs had had, which they never did. We heard this sound, which obviously was a bombardment of some kind, and but we couldn't see. And so Solomon Islander came up to me and said, "Master, me sorry too much, Japan fleety come." I said, "Don't talk rubbish." I'd turned the radio on by then. I could hear all these American voices. So we had to wait until about 9 o'clock, and then we saw 85 ships, I think there were, and all the little landing craft going backwards and forwards from the ships carrying soldiers ashore, Marines. I got a note which was passed up by one of my by Solomon Island policeman and telling me to come down and which way to come so that I could avoid the Japanese. And so I packed up everything and took my radio equipment down to Aula, which was the government station, and left it there, and then I went in and reported to the Americans. This Marine came up and shook me by the hand. I couldn't speak. I was too overcome. But that was the happiest day of my life.
We arrived in Singapore, monsoon weather, pouring with rain, and I was there for several days. I was in the camp most of the time with the cookhouse, as I was sort of in with charge of the water and with my other friend of mine that got killed, that died afterwards. But I also drove one or two of the officers up to the front line during the time with different messages and that, and always had instructions that should anybody get killed, the other one should try and get to where we were going, and it was called Wimpo. When we were coming back, we had a message to say that the roads were cut off. We had to go a different way. With that, I managed to get back to the camp, and then for quite a long time we could hear the bombing and shells and what have you. But then after a few, well, it wasn't long really before we had the message we had to go back. So we started going back to Singapore, and from day to day we went farther into Singapore. After we got over the bridge, we thought we might be all right, but we could hear the Japanese. We could hear the shells coming over at us, and we could hear all their messages and that. I could hear them quite plain, so I knew they weren't far away. And then the next thing I knew was, after a few days, that we were going to surrender and there'd be no more fighting. We were sort of told we weren't allowed to talk too much, we weren't allowed to say anything, We even had any our belongings. They told us we had to get rid of all our belongings. We had to put our rifles in and put them in the one of the rooms there, and that's all I knew. And the next day we had to march to Changi. The day after we surrendered, they come marching right through Singapore, and that's when I saw all the Japanese with their ammunition and all that, But when we got to Changi, we were put in camps there, and all we had to eat then was rice, and that was full of maggots and God knows what. Terrible stuff it was. I think it was what they'd be, and cattle feed, we called it.
This is a Browning automatic rifle. This was my favorite weapon. One like this was issued to me right out of boot camp. I carried this weapon basically through 4 campaigns. It's a full automatic weapon, 450 rounds per minute rate of fire. However, it did have a selector on it so that you could fire a single shot if you wanted to. Each one of these clips held 20 rounds. The ammunition belt loaded actually weighs more than the BAR does. It fired from an open bolt position. It had bipods on the front and had a butt rest here in the back and a shoulder rest here. However, as soon as we got on Guadalcanal, we realized that since this weapon had been designed during World War I as a trench warfare weapon, we didn't need these bipods on front, and so these were discarded. This weapon weighs 21 pounds, 7 ounces unloaded. Now it seems like it weighs twice that much. I don't know how I ever carried this thing through those 4 campaigns through the jungle and so forth, but it's very heavy to try to fire from the shoulder. We just normally fire it from the hip position like this. I think the Japanese feared this weapon more than anything else, even more so than our machine guns. Why? Because our machine guns were stationary. They could usually figure out about where the machine guns would be. They would be in a prominent location up front, or maybe in the rear behind sandbags, and they were easy to spot. But a BA Arman could be anywhere where the riflemen were. The Japanese tried to draw the fire from the Browning automatic riflemen first, so they could find out where they were. And we had to use discipline. Normally, we did not answer their first attacks. We'd let the riflemen take care of it. We held our fire with these weapons until they came charging at us, or unless we were approaching an area, we knew there were some Japanese hiding in some bushes or camouflage, then we could take this weapon and spray the area. The Marine Corps decided that since this weapon was so effective, they gave every 4th man one of these weapons. It increased our firepower tremendously. I got into a few firefights with this, and I'm awful glad I had it. One time I had to fight my way out of an ambush, whereby myself and another BA Arman was advancing across an open area when we were ambushed by a Japanese officer and 4 men nearby. They could see us, but we could not see them. And when they opened fire, they killed the man next to me, and I had to shoot my way out of the ambush. I might not have survived if I hadn't had this.
When we got on the train at Singapore, we went right through into Thailand, right through Malaya. Boiling hot sun it was, we were sweating. So many of us were sent right up to the top of the jungle. Took us several days to get up there. And we got to Camp Ramburi, where the bridge is. I was there for several months. It was right in the monsoon weather. And we were absolute filth it was there. I swear we lost a lot of boys, died with dysentery and cholera. They were dying like flies there. Well, most camps were the same, really. There's not much difference in them. You just had your bag of rice each day. You had a bit of rice in the morning, a bit of rice at night, and that was it. But I never seemed to get worried at all. I don't know why, I'm sure, but that's the way I am, I suppose. I don't know. This camp itself was terrible. We were underwater most of the time, almost sleeping in water. But we had to get up next morning and go off and do through the jungle to meet the bits of bridge we were working on. Each morning we had to walk right through for about 3 miles through to get by the river, by the camp, where we had to build these different bridges, small bridges to get different places. And we were there for a long time. You had to do as you were told, else you'd soon get a belt, and I'll tell you that. If you didn't do it quick, when they told you to do it, you had to do it quick. And that's where a lot of fellas slipped up, you know. They'd get a beating for nothing. You never knew each day what you were going to do. Most of it was doing all the digging, perhaps all day long, same old job all the day. If we had one day off in 10, I think. In that particular day, we'd have to go out and pick up any wood there was in the jungle to pull in for the camp. It was a terrible place to go to, but after we left there, we went to another camp farther up, and we were up in the woods cutting down big trees. There was 2 or 3 elephants working with us in the jungle, pushing these trees down. This particular bridge was for the troops to get through to Burma, and that was a roughish place there. There was 3 or 4 men escaped there, Arab soldiers, and then within 4 days they were found, And they took them out next day in a truck. And the guards got in with their rifles and they went and we didn't see no more of them. So they were shot somewhere out in the jungle.
The Black Cat Squadron job was to go out at night and destroy enemy shipping that was resupplying the Japanese that were still in the area, and to keep the submarines from surfacing to recharge their batteries during the night. The plane was originally designed just for reconnaissance. So then they put bomb racks under the wings to carry the bombs and the torpedoes. We could carry 2,000-pound payload, 500-pound bombs, or 2 torpedoes, 1,000 pounds each, or 4 depth charges, which were 500 pounds each. We had a 50 caliber gun on each side in a clamshell blister that could be opened up so the gun could be fired, and 2 30 calibers in the nose. A typical Black Cat mission would be we would take off at sunset. A radar would pick up a submarine. Most of the time the submarines would submerge before we could get to them, and at that point we didn't have any way to tell which way they went. There was 5 squadrons of us out there. We had 15 planes in each squadron, and we would take turns with different missions. During the day, their ships would be camouflaged. They would put vegetation and stuff on them so you couldn't see them, and the Air Force had trouble finding them. At night, once they got underway, they were very visible because of the luminous wake that moving ship creates due to the phosphorescent stuff in the sea, especially on a moonlit night. Our main protection was that we flew at night where they couldn't see us, they couldn't hear us coming, and after we left the scene, they couldn't see us leaving. Our method of attack was to sneak up on them. The idea was to see a ship, drop down to sea level, 50 feet, and make a run on the ship, let our bombs go so it would sink or disable it, and keep going so they couldn't shoot us down. Because of our slow speed and low altitude, we would come up over the horizon before they were aware of us. We were always trying not to be spotted to avoid any contact with fighters because we were so vulnerable. A fighter could shoot a PBY down with no trouble at all.
December day. So just think of your folks back home shoveling the snow in their driveways while you get out your beach towel. In just a minute, we got all of yesterday's sports scores, plus a look at the weather.
What was that? What's going on?
Come on, get up, everybody, let's get out of here. Okay, move it,
Okay. You two keep us covered from behind. You man the machine gun and I'll take the wheel. We're going after those Zeros.
Celebrate.
Hey guys, I'm looking for my brother, Private Steve McCoy. Have you seen him?
Oh, I haven't seen him.
Thanks anyway.
This is an evacuation. You're supposed to be going the other way.
Sergeant, a Jap battalion is coming fast. The General wants this bridge blown immediately.
No problem, sir. You there, you're coming with me. Zeros, coming in fast! Not bad.
Sergeant! Sergeant! Over here! Over here! They're coming fast. Can't hold them off.
We're blowing the bridge. Where's the demolition?
Sir, we lost the truck. Down by that steeple.
Oh, that's just great. Deep in Jap territory. What's with that tank over there?
Should be operational soon.
Soldier, get over here. We're going in. We're taking this tin can. Anybody home?
Huh? Hey, bro! What do you do?
Shut up! You, get in there and drive this tank. You, get up there and man this machine gun. I'll man the big gun. We'll get that demo truck or die trying. cover.
Will do, Sarge.
Now let's get that truck. Get in the back and cover me. Hang on to your head, kid. Sonny, get in the truck! Now!
I'm coming!
Sonny! I said now!
I can't make it! Get out of here! I'll hold them off!
Let him have it, soldier!
Get up there and give us cover! Get in! Let's get out of here! Got you covered, bro!
Come here, kid. I'm sorry about your brother. But we saved lives. Lots of them. Okay, soldier. Up on that rise is an airfield the Japs are trying to build. If they get the airfield, they get air superiority. Get ready, soldier. Jap patrol on the beach. Get your scope out. Okay, men. That road leads to the airfield. Let's move out.
Flare! Airborne! Take cover!
Let's move out. ready, men. Let him have it! Got you covered, soldier. Whoa! Thanks. Let's move out!
Look out!
Bunker's up ahead. Follow me and stay close. We're taking them out. Get your demo charge ready. Follow me. Set the timer. Slap it on the wall. Look out! They're coming! Behind you!
Turn around! Look out!
Okay, let's move. The gate's barricaded. Take out the man in the watchtower. Over here, soldier. Over here. Get on board. We're busting through. Get ready. We're gonna give it to them with everything we got. Follow me to the hangar. You take this one. Follow me, soldier. Here come the fireworks. Over here, soldier. Out this gate. Take cover, men! Get ready! They're not done! Come on, you can make it. Come on. It's not much more further. Come on. Get in. We've lost contact with the platoon. We need you to find out what happened. Hang on to your hat, kid. That was a close one. Your men are over there. Find the lost platoon and report back to me.
Ready, sir. Let's go. Ambush! Up in the trees! Fire hole! To the left!
Don't shoot! I'm Martin Clements. I know what happened to that platoon you're looking for. Have a look. We can save them. You advance dead ahead. My guides and I will attack from the rear. Good luck, soldier. This man you saved is a demolition expert. The Japanese are shelling your encampment. We can take those guns out. Follow me.
Snipers! In the tree! Mortar's nest! Dead ahead!
Nice shot, soldier. That was mighty fine.
What? Don't shoot. I must show you the secret passage. This passage will lead to a network of caves. I can't go with you. My men are injured. I'll meet you on the other side of the cliffs by the bridge. Good luck.
Check it out. Take this detonator. Push it when I tell you. Come on, follow me. Okay, let him have it. Let's get out of here. The next gun, up there. Come on. Look, the ceiling. It's about to cave in. I'm out of explosives. We can bring down the whole cave. Help me. I'll wire the trigger. Take this cord and yank it when I tell you. Come on! Turn around and blow that gun. What's in there? I don't believe it. Whoa, that's some souvenir. Look! Explosives! Climb up the rope and hoist me and the boxes up. Got you covered, kid. Nice shot. Got no time to lose. Let's go! Cover me. Take him out. I'll keep watch down here. They're coming back! Bar the door! Help me with this thing. Look out! Behind you! Come on, follow me! Here, blow them to Kingdom Come! Run for it! Look, it's Martin! Run for it, kid! I'll blow the bridge! I'll take it!
That devil back, soldier! It's our only chance!
Okay, soldier. Welcome to the OSS. We have a mission for you. You will enter the summit disguised as General Wolfgang Schmidt. The Japanese are having a summit of Axis powers in Singapore. We want you to infiltrate and find out as much as you can. We will smuggle you in, and our agent will meet you on the dock.
Follow me. Have a look, General. Most imposing.
Quick, to the Raffles Hotel.
The most important leaders of the Axis will be there tonight. Somehow, the Japanese have amassed a fortune in gold. We need to know what they're up to. A patrol!
Hey, stop now!
Don't shoot!
Where are you going?
Hotel Raffles.
Then you should know the password.
Password? Don't know.
Don't know? What do you mean you don't know? Wait a minute. Who is this guy?
Sir, I can explain. You see, the general...
You explain nothing. You guys come with me.
Get ready, General.
What did you say?
Nothing. General! General! This way! This way! British Secret Service. Follow me. I can get you to the hotel. Stay close. The patrols are everywhere. Quick, this way! Keep up! This way, soldier. Good shot. Up those stairs is the Raffles Hotel. They will be expecting you. Good luck, soldier. Hello again, General. I suggest you arrive in style. Keep it smooth. No guns.
General Smith.
Welcome, General. We are honored to have you at the summit. I know you've had a long and hectic trip. Now please, won't you take a moment and relax in our lounge? Right this way. Now you relax, General. Your associates will be in shortly.
Associates? I don't know anything about associates.
General, I'm so happy you could join us this evening.
No, the General has had a long trip. He is much too tired to discuss anything.
General Schmidt, did you say? I don't remember the General so trim. Wait, that's not the General.
Whew, this is not good. They weren't in my briefing, I swear.
General? Are you okay?
Everything is fine. General will be right there. I'll take care of the bodies.
General, they're waiting for you upstairs. Right this way, General.
Right here, General. Have a seat. Welcome, General Schmidt. Well now, as I was saying, the Empire has now secured the Western Pacific. We amassed untold wealth as well. And we can begin our atomic program. The United States sits comfortably, but far away. But we have plans. Very big...
Well, I never thought.
I don't know what you think you're doing, but you're impersonating an officer of the Third Reich.
I'm out of here.
This man is an imposter. He's...
Don't shoot!
Hello again. Look out! Get ready, they're coming! This way! Out the window! Quick, off the ledge! Jump off the ledge! Come on, soldier, now! That was a tight one.
Roger, OSS. This is Flying Tiger 029er. I read you loud and clear. They're not making it easy for me up here. It's funny. I believe I spotted that coordinates are 09. I'm hit, OSS. I'm losing power. I've got a mayday. Mayday.
Oh no, we've lost him.
Wait, I'm picking up a signal. He's trying to transmit. He has to be alive.
Then let's go.
Take cover! Here they come!
Come on!
Look out! Behind you!
Come on! Go ahead. Just past those branches. Okay, let's move up. But be ready. They've taken him. What are we gonna do? Come on! You get going! Over here! A prisoner! Tanaka, you're brilliant. Now tell me where you've taken that pilot. I said, where have you taken that pilot?
Over there, down trail. To Temple, down trail.
Tanaka, switch clothes with this prisoner. Okay, sir. Soldier, I want you to go into the temple with Tanaka. Rescue that pilot. Keep an eye out for the gold as well. Let's go. It's heavily fortified. The Marauders and I will take out the anti-aircraft guns. I'll then call in an airstrike. Be out by the time we blow the 4th gun. Good luck. The guard. Get ready. You can't shoot them from here. In that tower, you can get a better look. Be careful. When I yawn, start shooting. Make it quick. Nice work. Have a look down there. This way, come on. I'll draw them out.
Who are you? What you want?
I need you to come here. I need to show you something.
What? I'm busy with the banquet. You have not been authorized.
Oh, there's a banquet going on in the next room. You get into that sake barrel, and I'll wheel you in. Nice going. Soldier, come here and have a look. Over here, you idiot. Make it fast. Shh. This is the PA room. Take him out. I need that microphone. I'll send everyone into the cafeteria.
What?
All men in the prison area, there is free sake for you in the cafeteria. I repeat, free sake in the cafeteria.
Come on, soldier. I have a prisoner right here. Now open the door.
Where is your base? Captain, you will tell us, this I promise. Now once again, Captain, where is your base? What? Where did you come from?
I have a new prisoner, sir, for you.
Is that so?
I was told to bring him to you.
Really?
Yes, the general... Whew.
Now let's get out of here. Let's go. Soldier, on your right! With that gold, you know they have to cross somewhere.
Take them out! They're closing the gate! Shoot the rope!
Well now, there's our answer. How could they have built that? Pull over! Marauders! We'll create a diversion on the bridge. Free them when we draw their attention. Now carry on. Let's move out. 9 o'clock.
Take it out!
The train! Come on, soldier! You won't believe this.
Guess what? These naval officers are from an aircraft carrier. They've been transporting something very important. I think it's the gold.
That was close. Soldier, come on! We've got to blow the bridge.
Blimey, this way!
Up the ladder! Take him out!
To the ladder! Swim to the ladder! To the plane! I'll fly around! Look out!
Roger, Lieutenant Bromley. I read you. Set ahead for 89.3 west. I want you to land on the Japanese carrier Torafuji. We suspect they're transporting something. Something very important. Sink the carrier if you can.
Tanaka, you better be spot on for this one.
I'll handle this. Stay down. Stay down. If we can get to the engine room, we can sink this tub. Let's go. Get him!
一晩中起きてるのは嫌さ。半年も攻めてこないんだ。黙って早く持ち場に戻れ。こんな森で。こいつは密偵に違いない。電話全員処刑されることになった。
Set the timer for an hour. Now let's get Tanaka and get out of here. Well, well. I'd say this looks important, all right.
Lieutenant Stevenson. Shh. Hey. Saki, sir?
No.
Oh, okay. Very well, very well. Stevenson, with the OSS, perhaps you can tell me a few things. A few things about your brother. What?
He's taking his plane. Get upstairs to the hangars. Hurry.
Stevenson, untie me! Topside! Next time. Stevenson, look there! We're in luck, Stevenson. That's a plane I can fly. Go to the bridge. Steer this thing toward the shallows. Meet me on the deck.